If you like hearing about the paranormal, I've got a story for you. My name is Tracy, and I do a type of hypnosis where I speak to my clients' higher selves after we look at a past life and after we look at what they do in between lives. I'm going to read the notes off my screen because I recently had a session where my client says there is a portal in her home with lots of alien or ET activity going on in it. So I asked her higher self, is there a portal in her home? And my client's higher self said, oh yes. It is very busy. It's like a crossing of dimensions or something. They're coming in and going out and they don't bother her, but she can sense them and she sees them. I asked her higher self, she sees a being in her home with the head of an ant. What can you tell us about this blue and purple ant-headed being? Her higher self said, she is very friendly. She's good, nothing to be afraid of. She's very chatty. If your client would like to connect with her, she would be willing. But she knows that it made your client uneasy, so she's doing as your client asked, which is to go out of sight. So she respects that and has done that. That does not mean she is still not doing her thing in the portal. I asked, what are these beings doing in the portal? And her higher self said, it feels like the kind that does social observations, a good one, but it's an alien being. It's learning from the human race. I feel like they want to help us and not be our own reason for our demise, which is what they are trying to head off. This being is saying, ever since the Kardashians came on the scene, all hell has broken loose. The American culture has shifted so vastly that these alien beings are beside themselves. They do not know how to help us. I said, because it's all about greed and image, right? And her higher self said, yes, it's not good for America or the world. Then I asked her about this other being that my client calls Myra, and Myra has never shown her full body, just her arm, but it looks scaly, almost reptilian-like. So I asked her higher self about Myra, and her higher self said, Myra is neutral. It's not bad. I said, what does Myra want? And her higher self said, Myra wants her to channel and write everything down. My client told me that Myra keeps talking about the soil and earth and that it's very complicated. And we were told in the session that my client has tremendous writing skills, and that's a reason that Myra has picked her. However, when I questioned her higher self further about it, she does not have a contractual agreement with Myra to do any of this channeling or this writing. So based on the law of free will, she can either accept working with Myra or deny it. Her higher self told her that based on free will, if she has the energy and the interest, she could absolutely work with Myra, but is not required to do so. When I asked how my client can see these things, her higher self said, it's like a wobble in the matrix. She has glimpses of strange things happening all the time. And these wobbles exist all over the place, and with practice and skill, we can all develop this ability.